Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today's Thursday, August 31st. It is 6:21 right now. Market's gonna open in about 9 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this room real quick, and then we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. A couple of things here to update. Let's go ahead. A few more things here. And we should be good to go. All right. Looks good. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. And we should be good to go. All right. All right, I'll give it a few moments for people to make their way in. And then we'll get started shortly. Looks like we are good to go. All right, guys, morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, August 31st. It is 6:23 right now. Market's gonna open in about 7 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. And then we'll start with our analysis shortly. So here goes the weekly time frame. Go down to the daily. Go down to the 8-hour. Where's that? Go down to the 4-hour. Go down to the 2-hour. Go down to the 1-hour. Go down to the 30. And I hate how they changed the, oh, there you go. I was looking for the undo button. Oh, whoops. Change that color red. Going down to the 15-minute. To the 10-minute. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, so I got all liquidity marked up right there. Closest liquidity from the bottom is going to be right here, pretty close. This might get hit pre-market. I mean, I don't know. It's a low level liquidity, so probably only go for 100 pips if you guys do decide to take that trade there. And then same with above. So we got liquidity over here. Closest upper level is going to be 35,177. Lower level is going to be 350.77. So I mean, this one's pretty close. This will probably get hit pre-market. It's about 10 points away. The one above is about 90 pips away, or 90 points away. So 900 pips. So we'll see. Got that marked up right there. Morning Kevin, morning Angela, morning Patricia, morning Kenny, morning Maria, morning Rashida, morning CJ, morning Miguel, morning Daniel, morning Johnny, morning Randy, morning everybody. All right, looks like majority of you guys are here so far. So good morning, everybody. Today's Thursday, August 31st. It's 6:27 right now. Market's gonna open in about 3 minutes. So I marked up liquidity over here. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at retail sentiment. Retail sentiment is currently 64% short, so it's gonna be bullish. Looking over here at the fundamentals, fundamentals are currently up 142 points, so that's also bullish. Looking over here at the technicals, technicals are also bullish on the higher time frames, and they're currently neutral on the lower time frame. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that up real quick. Over here. So today's overall bias, retail sentiment is bullish at 64% short. Fundamentals bias bullish as well. It's plus 100, I'll say 120 points. Short-term technicals neutral. Long-term technicals bullish. All right, so today's bullish. Bias looks pretty bullish for the most part. I think there was news today at 5:30 as well. So there's news here at 5:30. News at 4:30, 5:30. I'm going to mark that up real quick. There's news here at 4:30, which was a little weird. Candle over here. And then there's news at 5:30, which was this big candle right here. I think we have a couple more news events over here at 6:45, Chicago PMI, and 7:30. 6:45 and 7:30. I'm going to mark that up. 6:45 right here. And 7:30. So guys, just a heads up, I'm going to be forward testing a new strategy. It's not like super new. It's like something I worked on in the past, but Gian kind of reached out to me yesterday and he kind of introduced me to something that he saw, and it helped me kind of just revive my thoughts on this other strategy. So liquidity here just got hit, guys. If you guys took it, looks like, I mean, I wouldn't take it, obviously, it's on open. Market is now open, but the liquidity down below did get hit. The overall bias is bullish, so I'd probably be careful about taking some sells today. I mean, if you guys want to take it, it's completely fine. It's no biggie, but just want to make sure that you guys are aware. It's also at news price too. So just a couple things there to be careful for if you guys do decide to take that liquidity push. Not to say that it won't hit, but it's very risky when it's hitting a couple red flags there. Bias is bullish. So just a lot of reasons to be careful with taking that liquidity push right there. I mean, it's still running, but I'm not going to take it. Obviously, you guys know I'm not going to take risky trades like that. So just a reminder, guys, I'm going to be testing out this strategy. I'm not going to give too many details on it at all until I'm done testing it. I usually don't try to give you guys hints of like what I'm doing, but it's going to be pretty obvious that I'm going to be doing it because it's like it's basically a daily strategy, a daily scalp strategy. So I'll tell you guys where I'm going to be taking it. I'm not going to give you details on it because I'm still testing it. Once I've tested it for a couple of months, just like we did the momentum pullback scalp, then I'll give you guys some details on it. But right now I'm going to be testing it. I just want you guys to know so that you guys are aware that I'm testing something. And then if you guys see my profits, you guys will understand where those profits are coming from. So just a heads up, and just a little rundown of what the strategy is. So basically, you guys know how price kind of moves on open, right? So we have like this directional push on open with momentum. What I do is I try to counter trend trade it. So once I see some exhaustion, so price pushes down and I see some exhaustion and I expect price to reverse, I take a quick scalp there in the opposite direction. So that's just a quick gist of like what I'm doing. But again, it's not necessarily something that you guys really need to know. So just, to let you guys know, a heads up, if you guys are wondering what I'm doing, what trade I'm taking, so that you guys can have an idea of, what I'm working with. So liquidity there just got hit. If you guys took it, multiple levels of liquidity here just got hit, depending on which one you guys are taking. I didn't take any of these liquidity pushes, so they're not going to count for my trades. But if you guys took any of these liquidity pushes right here, they all went straight to full TP. So first one right there, second one right there. I don't even know if the third one went through, but 2 liquidity pushes right there. I wouldn't chase the liquidity pushes anymore, guys, because it's probably going to correct back to the upside. At this point, it's probably going to correct back to the upside. So 2 liquidity pushes right there, went straight to full TP. I'm looking for that strategy that I'm testing right now. As as I mentioned. So once I take the entry, I'll kind of explain to you guys what I'm doing. It's kind of hard for me to explain to you guys right now because it's moving so quickly, but I'm looking for a possible buy here back to the upside, basically a correction back to the upside. And I might need to get I might need to set up my laptop so I can take it on my top step too, but let's see right here. Is Gion here too? Gion is right there. All right, Gion, setting up right now. You see it? Yeah. Yeah, we had the momentum right there. Just can't get a buy signal on this one right here. Hoping the buy signal doesn't close. If the buy signal closes, it's going to invalidate the entry. Fuck, it's going to close, Gion. We'll see. We got 30 seconds left on it. It's always exciting to test out new strategies, guys, because I've done the back testing. Strategy had 10 wins and 1 loss in the past 11 days. It's as far as I can go back in testing. So we'll see. There just can't be a buy signal right there. This thing's pushing pretty hard, so I don't think we're gonna be able to get an entry right there. Let's see, buy signal didn't close, so see where this goes. It's kind of hectic the way that it's moving right now because it's so volatile. Kind of missed it because of the I was waiting for the buy signal to close, but it didn't. And no, we're not considering the pivots, CSU. It's just straight momentum. See, Gion said his hit. Oh, this one lined up with yours too, Gion. Or no, I didn't actually. Almost did. Oh, you took the sell. Okay, so Gion took the other way. Yeah, so there's two different variations of applying this strategy that I was just discussing to you guys. There's one that Gion's doing, and then one that I'm kind of looking at. The it's too late for me to make entry at this point because I was waiting for the signal to close, but it looks like it would have hit for mine too, Gion, right here. It just happened too quickly, so I couldn't really mess with it. Yeah, it like literally blasts through it. You gotta be quick. As soon as the candle closes, you gotta get right in, or else you're gonna get caught in this messiness over here. Yeah, so me and Gian are testing two different. I mean, they're very similar strategies. There's just different entry points. He's using the lower lows, higher highs. I'm using momentum only for the one that I'm running. So here, I'll just give you guys a quick rundown of like what I was applying here and how this played out. So basically, I look for the first momentum signal. This is very similar to the daily entry. I'm looking for a momentum signal as soon as market opens. So market opened right here at 6:30. There was a sell signal. I look for two opposite candles in the opposite direction. So sell signal right here. I look for two green candles following the momentum signal. And I take the first entry though there's only one move per day. Technically, you can apply it throughout the day. I've tested it and it works throughout the day, but for sake of accuracy and consistency, I'm just taking one a day for the most part. So we'll see how everything else here plays through, but that's going to be the strategy that I'm going to be testing. So I'm not really going to give too many details on it. Just want to give you guys a heads up, but I'll be forward testing it throughout the next couple of months. Because if this is the case, then this is pretty much going to be one of the staples. So we'll have one strategy that we'll be applying the first 30 minutes of live session. So this right here, basically, it's like a counter trend trade of momentum. And then after that, we'll be looking for the momentum pullback scalp. So basically like almost two guaranteed entries per day during the live sessions. And then liquidity, obviously, if you guys want to take liquidity, that's like another one you can take. It's basically like 3 guaranteed entries to be taking during live session. So see if there's anything else here for me to look at and take. So I'm just going to clean this up right here. I wasn't able to get into it because I thought this was going to close with a buy signal, so I wasn't able to hop in. But you guys can see that the entry, I mean, basically would have played out if we had that opportunity there. Which unfortunately we didn't, but I mean, it would have been nice. But again, I'm testing it. I'm forward testing it. I'm going to start documenting every trade too from these live sessions so that we have a good idea as to like where our positions stand for the year. So no longer well, I'm not even in this position at all. I'm looking for a momentum pullback scalp now. And then also another thing too, on my top step, I'm looking for where I'm just going to be trading one account, guys. So I can set an automatic TP stop loss because before the copier kind of screwed. Well, I didn't really screw me up, but it kind of tripped me out when I was putting the orders earlier this week. So I only have 2 trades this week so far. I didn't take any trades yesterday, didn't take any trades on Monday. I think I just took one on Tuesday, I believe. And then one on, or I can't even remember how many trades I took this week. Didn't really take too many at all. So I'm just reading the messages over here. Let's see what's saying. And I wish I took that trade, Gion. That trade went out pretty nice. The only problem is that it happened so quickly. It's all right. We'll just count. Well, I'm going to count my data from today as it worked out. So let's see if there's anything else here for me to look at. Sorry, guys, I'm reading these messages that I'm getting on the side. So let me scroll up real quick. See, Maddie said catching correction after manipulated push. Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing, Maddie. C6 said he used the high-low indicators with looking for the momentum during correction. And it's insanely fast. Yeah, that happened super quickly. So now I'm looking for momentum pullback scalps, guys. So like I mentioned earlier, this is like basically the first strategy that I look for, which would be, I'll come up with a name for it. It's probably gonna be called something like, I don't know. I'll come up with a name for it. We have so many strategies that I'll come up with a name for that strategy there. But price is coming back down. Looks like it may come down and retest the, yeah, it's retesting the liquidity down there. I'm attempted to enter 35, 37. I'm gonna see how it works. 35, 037. I'm gonna see if it works well with the trade of eight. Wait a minute. So this is the wrong account. It's not showing up on my. Oh, because I'm on a different chart. I was tripping because I'm right here on this one, so it kind of threw me off a little bit. So we have news. We have news coming up over here at 6:45. Chicago PMI. Let's see, it is forecasting it to be consensus. Positive, it looks like. Let's see where this ends up pushing to. News. See what the news is like. So better than expected. Yeah, probably best to sit out the liquidity right there because of the news event. So news was positive. It's pushing price up right here. See if we have any other news. We have news at 7:30, gas news and stuff. Sorry guys, I dragged this over real quick. It's my mouse is kind of like going crazy right now. I'm trying to figure out where my thing is. My mouse dragged my trading view over. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. Sorry guys. My mouse kind of pulled my, there we go. I'm trading these back up. So let's see, question from Vince. Vince is asking V1 at 645. I know it's below pivots, but bias was bullish. 645, yeah, this one right here. But it was right at news, Vince. The news was at 645. So I probably would have skipped that one right there for that specific reason. So yeah, that was a V1 variation. There's a double body rejection right here. This is the entry that Vince was talking about. There is a double body right here, V1 variation. Price kind of pushed up from right here, and that would have been the entry. But I personally would have held off on it because of the news event. It would have hit, and you guys can see all the manipulation happening right here. News was super positive, and then price pushed up initially, and then it came down super hard. So, I mean, you guys got to keep in mind that it's still NFP week, so price is kind of all over the place. And there's still no entries for us right now at the moment. We're looking for, okay, so we got news out of the way. We have news over here at 7:30. So we got about like 30 minutes till news. And then I'm going to go ahead and mark up levels over here. 1 second, guys. I'm going to start marking up the levels now so we can start looking for a momentum pullback scalp. All right, so we are now looking for momentum pullback scalp. So guys, again, like I mentioned before, I'm testing out this strategy that we take between 6:30 and 7, and then typically the momentum pullback scalp will happen after it. So yeah, if we lock that one up here, that would have been the first full TP. And then now we take the other one, which would be the momentum pullback scalp. So hopefully you guys are understanding where I'm going through here, because the thing is with a momentum pullback scalp, we usually don't take it till after 7. So I'm basically trying to find a strategy that fits before that, right? There's a lot of different strategies that you can apply. You can apply the breakout, you can apply the liquidity push. There's a lot of strategies you can apply. I'm looking for one that's like more set, where you don't have to like really think about it too much. For this strategy, you don't really think about it too much because you're looking for you're just looking for the first momentum signal, and then you're looking for the reversal. So super simple way to just add strategies to, your trading plan. The main strategy that we're applying is the momentum pullback scalp. So I'm just looking for, because the thing is I'm focusing on just like 1 or 2 quality trades a day. If I can take 1 or 2 quality trades a day and just not have any losses, then I'm good with like whatever we take. The liquidity is a good strategy, but I wouldn't necessarily say that it's safe to take, right? A lot of people feel differently about the liquidity push. A lot of people like it, and some people don't. So I don't think this is going to be one of the staples because the market is so different every day that it's not always going to be the same. With applying the other strategy here that I was showing you guys between 6:30 and 7, this is always going to be, there's always going to be like one entry almost every time. So I mean, I made a spreadsheet over here too. I call it the momentum exhaustion, but I'm probably gonna rename it to like, forgot what I renamed it to. But you guys can see over here that I have the data. Like this is as far as the data can go. I went from Monday, August 7th until August 30th yesterday. There's 10 wins and 1 loss, 90% win rate, total profit of 750 pips. So if that's the case, and I can lock that in, that's an extra 750 pips for me. You multiply that by my 100K accounts, that's an extra 7,500 per account. So, you do the math. I just apply that strategy every day for, the month or so. 750 times $10 per pip, that's 7,500 times 7. It's like an extra 52,000 for me, right? To just lock that in. So that's why it's a lucrative strategy, and I'm looking for something to squeeze in during the earlier session of our lives. So I'll be working on that over the past couple of weeks. I haven't really introduced any new strategies, or I haven't really used anything else prior. A lot of our other strategies, they work throughout the day, but a lot of these new strategies that I'm kind of introducing, they are all time-based. So like it only happen between like 6:30 and 7. William's asking, can you bring it up again? It was just 1 loss. Yeah, that was it. It's just 1 loss, William, on that one day. I mean, it wouldn't matter for you because you're not applying the strategy, William. So I'm kind of giving you guys this heads up of like what I'm doing, but don't bother trying to figure out what it is, William. Because you should be applying this if you haven't like gotten anything else down, right? If you guys haven't gone down the momentum pullback scalp, don't bother looking for any other strategy because there's no point. You're just going to confuse yourself. So I'm not going to pull it up again, William, because I don't want you to try to do this yourself, because you also need the indicators too. So just keep that in mind, guys. This strategy is based off the momentum signal. I know a lot of you guys try to apply my strategies without the indicators, and it's pretty much impossible. That's the whole reason why I made this, like why this is proprietary, because my indicators are basically indicating, what to look for. So just keep that in mind, guys. Again, this strategy is going to be something that I'm working on. So don't act like, if you guys ask me any questions on it, I'm not going to answer them because it's still in testing phase. But you guys will see the profits. Like if you guys see an extra profit on my, my profits at the end of the day, it's going to be one of these, basically this one strategy. So just want to give you guys a heads up. Sisu said send him the codes. Yeah, I'll send you some area codes, Sisu. James is asking, Sean, will you be trading tomorrow for NFP? Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow for NFP. So I still come on the live pretty much every day, guys. The only times I don't come on the live are for holidays. So next week is Labor Day, I believe. I think it's Labor Day. Let me check. Yeah, next week is Labor Day. So the market's technically closed. The futures market's closed. So I'm not going to be trading next Monday. But I will be trading tomorrow. So I'll be trading tomorrow for NFP, but I will not be trading tomorrow for Labor Day. Let's see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. All right, so we're looking for a sell signal here, guys. That's basically all we're looking for. We're looking for a sell signal so that price can come down. Once price comes down, we'll look for retracement. We'll look for continuation for entry. And that's mainly what we're looking for right now. Bias is bullish still, but that doesn't really matter for us because this specific strategy doesn't require that we trade in the direction of bias. We're just trading the direction of, wherever price is going. So let's see. Miguel said it looks like a new addition, a nice addition to the new strat that the new strategy is making. Yeah, I agree, Miguel, 100%. Because the thing is, you guys can see this momentum pullback scalp typically doesn't come until after 7, right? So like we get all this noise over here. So there's not really much for us to do right here. So if I can squeeze one strategy that's like a very high win rate and it's almost happens every day, then I mean, here, I'll pull up the thing again. William, don't try to I know William's probably gonna try to write down the requirements for the strategy, but you don't have the indicators, William. So you would need the indicators to actually, apply this. So I'm going to put this down here. I'm not going to show you guys the requirements for the strategy, but yeah, like what Miguel mentioned over here, I mean, it's a pretty solid strategy. It comes up almost every day. There's a couple days here where it doesn't come up, and I put notes here. It was messy because there was multiple momentum signals. The momentum signal happened on the second candle, which is the criteria that you have to follow. Most of the time, it's only when the market's messy. So when the market's moving kind of decent, there's like pretty decent entries here. And even for this loss over here, if you were to lose this trade here for the rest of that week, you'd be in profit because we'd maybe have like a momentum pullback scalp. So 90% win rate. This is all the data that I can pull up for the 1 minute time frame, and it worked out pretty nice. So yeah, I agree, Miguel. So that's the reason why I kind of put it together. I was working on the strategy a couple months ago, like early before summer, but I never put it together because I couldn't figure out what pattern to look for. I was looking for a V1. So before I was looking for a momentum signal, and then I was looking for a V1 variation to catch the reversal, right? But you can see over here, there's no V1 and it doesn't happen very often. So Gian is the one that kind of brought up the idea to me about looking at these specific candles. And he actually found that from looking at one of our other friends' page as well that also trades live. So everything kind of just fell into place, and then I'm working on it. But this strategy is not something new. I've been looking at the strategy for maybe the past 2 years. I just couldn't figure out an entry point. But Gian kind of just made me think, and then I figured out, oh, this is the piece that I was missing for that one strategy I was working on like a couple of years ago. So it works well, and we'll I'll be testing it for every live session. So if you guys want to take it as a speculative trade, I'll give you guys a heads up that it's coming up. It's not going to count as any official entries just yet until I'm like comfortable with it. So maybe by the end, like middle of the fall or early winter, if the strategy is pretty consistent and it has a high win rate from like say September up until like October up until November, then at that point we might implement it as an official strategy. I just have to see how it works when the market starts to move very volatile, because I was only able to test August, so I can't really see how it moves in September, October when the market picks up, because if the volatility is too high, it might not work. Yeah, exactly. William said, yeah, I was curious of the criteria, where my brain was. Yeah, I know exactly what you're looking for, William. So guys, like I mentioned before, you guys can apply my strategies without the indicators, but I've seen a lot of people blow their accounts because they try to do that. So make it easy for yourself and just get the indicators, guys. Because the thing is, I know a lot of you guys try to predict where these momentum signals come up. Like yesterday, someone was asking me about a certain entry, and he was like, hey, would you take this high level momentum scalp at this like specific entry point? And I was like, there's no entry there. And then he said, yeah, there was. And I said, okay, show me a screenshot so I can see where the entry is. And he showed me a screenshot of his MT4. And I was like, okay, you don't have the indicator. So obviously you didn't know where that momentum was. So, and there was no entry there. So he lost the trade because he took a specific trade with the high level momentum scalp. So he thought just because it was a big candle, there was a momentum signal there, but there was no momentum signal there, right? So you guys can try to apply the strategies without the indicators, but it's going to be extremely difficult, guys. And unless you're on the live session and you guys can see my chart here, I wouldn't try applying the strategies on your own specifically. Yeah, I'm just looking out for you guys because I know you guys are going to try it anyways. But if you guys, end up losing trades, blowing your account, you guys gotta understand that you did that at your own fault. So, all right, we have a pending sell signal right here. If the sell signal here closes, we're going to look for price to push down a little bit, retrace and continue down. And that's where I'm going to be making my entry here for a sell. So that is what I'm looking for here. We don't have anything yet. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said, doesn't make sense to trade Kodi Kai strategies without the Kodi Kai indicators. I don't know why people do that. Yeah, no, I agree with you too, Maddie. I mean, there's people sometimes who will just watch my stream. They think that my strategies are super simple because I have my indicators, and then they try to do it themselves and they do it completely wrong. So, I mean, there's a whole reason why the strategy is proprietary. If it wasn't proprietary, then, you know, everybody would be using our strategies. But since we only want a few people using the strategies, I know exactly. C6 said that. So people always call my pivots EMAs. These are not EMAs, guys. I mean, you guys can put EMAs right next to them. I can guarantee that they're not going to be the same. They look like EMAs because they're lines, but they're not EMAs. Yeah, you probably remember that guy that was trying to argue with me last time season. I mean, whenever we have a new trader who comes into he doesn't necessarily have to be in our community, but he can be like a troll on YouTube. You know, try to argue that these are EMAs, and then they put the EMAs on top of it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're right. These aren't EMAs." I'm like, okay, yeah. I mean, this is all from like my work, guys. I've been trading for like over 10 years now, so I put these indicators together through like my knowledge, my trial and error. I used to use EMAs a long time ago, so like maybe like, you know, over 10 years ago, I was using EMAs, and I realized that the EMAs didn't really work very well, so I had to make some adjustments to basically I basically had to fine tune them. So I guess you could say like the base of my knowledge putting this indicator together were EMAs, but then I started adding other code to it. So it's not necessarily it's not an EMA for sure. It's like it's mixed with a lot of different code that I put together. I basically mixed the EMAs with a bunch of different indicators, and then I figured out what worked best, and that's how I put them together. So they might look like EMAs, but they're definitely not EMAs. I think someone also, yeah, exactly. C6 said everyone's looking for that shortcut. All right, so we have a sell signal right here, guys. We're looking for price to come down. So we have a sell signal right here. We have the bearish trend with regard to the pivots. You can see prices below the pivots, and the pivots are angling down. And then lastly, the trend meter down below is red. Last confirmation is going to be the ATR down below. It's currently 17, so the volatility is decent. It's not very strong, but it's pretty decent. So what I'm looking for here now is I'm looking for price to come down slightly, push up, and come down further. So slightly push to the downside, retracement, and then I'll look for entry right here, possibly at the 40 mark. So 35 over 40. We need price to come down further though. Maddie said we also have liquidity sitting down below as well. Yeah, so price might be making its way down, right back down below. So you can see right here, our price is trying to get down to this area of liquidity. So it's beneficial for us because that's the direction that we're looking to take this momentum pullback scalp. But we need price to actually come down, right? So we need price to actually come down. It needs to be down below here. I won't be taking any trades if it's up here because this is where the momentum signal is. We have the momentum signal. I need price to be down here. So price push down, retrace, continuation, and that's where we'll be looking for entry. Right now, we don't have anything yet. So you just gotta wait for this to move. I'm hoping the price moves because if not, the ATR is gonna go down a bit. It's currently at 18 right now. It was at 17. It's now at 18. So this might be the case, guys. Like, I'll probably be looking for like two entries per day. I'll be looking for the initial one open and then looking for this one right here. Now price is pushing down below. All right, so we have that push right here that I just mentioned. I need it to stay below here. I need it to like just remain down below this area, so that if we get a retracement, we'll be able to enter at this 40 mark right here. Got about 8 seconds left. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit so that you guys can see everything. All right, so price is down here. Now I'm just looking for a green candle. If I get a green candle anywhere over here, I'll be looking for that retracement, and then I'll be looking for possible entry here. If price continues to drop lower, then entry is going to be a bit lower down at this area right here. Let me measure these candles, make sure they're not too big. They're fine. About 10, 15 pips. So here goes liquidity. You can see price is trying to make its way down to that area down below. It's not there yet, but it's trying to make its way down. So it's still trying to make its way right there. Came out for the touch. If it retraces right here, that's completely fine. The next entry point is going to be here at the 30 mark. $30 or the 40 mark. So we'll see where this ends up closing, and then we'll look for that retracement that we're looking for initially. All right, so we're looking for a green candle here. We're looking for a green candle for price to retrace to the upside. Entry is either going to be here at the 20 mark or it's going to be here on the 30 mark. It's going to be hard to catch as 20 because it's so close to current price. So the entry is probably going to be up here at the 30 mark. Yeah, Maddie said price might push down to the sessions. Yeah, I can see that as well. So 20 mark right here is the closest level, but the problem with this here is that it's just too close. So I don't know if we'll be able to make entry right here at the 20 mark. I mean, it wouldn't really matter unless it closes green. So it doesn't look like this candle is going to close green. Next level for entry is going to be right here at the 20 mark. So if we get a green candle right here, entry is going to be right there at the 20 mark. We got to wait for this green candle here to close though. So if this green candle closes below this black line, entry is going to be right here at the 20 mark. If the green candle closes above it, entry is going to be here at the 30 mark. It looks like the 20 mark here is going to be the case. Got like about 30 seconds left on this candle right here. Got about 20 seconds. Yeah, Kevin said double body, but also at liquidity. Yeah, so it might fake out right there, come back up a little bit, and then maybe come back down once it gets to this area. So the entry is technically going to be right here at the 30 mark, guys, if you guys want to take it. All right, I'll put my pending order right there. So I got a pending order right here at the 30 mark. Not any yet. So it looks like it filled for me. All right, so I'm in the position right here. So there's only two ways that I'll pull out of this position. It's either it goes to stop loss or I get a buy signal. If I get a buy signal, I got to pull out. But if it just, it's either going to hit, it's going to go up or it's going to come down. So I'm already in the position. It's filled. Mine's running right now. I got to watch it because I got to manually pull out of this position when it comes through. All right, so if this candle closes with a buy signal, I got to close out for a partial win. Like partial in profit over here. I'm in profit right now at 375. 500. I'm just watching as it pushes through over here. There we go. Full amount, full TP. There we go, full TP on that entry right there. So guys, see how easy this is? If I could get two entries right here, first entry right here between 6:30 and 7, second entry right here for momentum pullback scalp, boom, I'm done for the day. Two full wins, and then that'd be two straight W's, right? William over here asked that green candle is a V1 though. I mean, it wouldn't matter if it's a V1 or not. It's still, we're not looking for V1s here, so it wouldn't make a difference for us whether it's a V1 or not. I wouldn't take the V1 because price is bearish right here on the technicals. So I mean, you can identify as a V1 because it is a V1, but that's not what I would have taken. So you guys kind of have to keep that irrelevant information out of your head, right? Because that's the thing. If you're thinking of how like William's thinking, he's like, oh, it's a V1, then you would just be scared and you wouldn't take the position. The position we're looking for here is a momentum pullback scalp. We don't care about V1s. The V1 is going to be a confluence. It's like, yeah, okay, that might scare you to take the entry, but I'm not going to. I saw your message the whole time, William, and I was like, William better not be our bad luck today. So I wasn't even going to like read his message because I saw his message in the Zoom, and I'm like, this dude's like he saw something opposite of what we're taking. So I was like, I'm gonna wait for this to hit TP, and then I'm gonna say something, and it hit TP. So yeah, back to what I was saying earlier, guys. This is a V1 here, like what William is saying. But if that's not the strategy you're looking for, you got to get that out of your head. You can't be thinking two things at once, right? You're thinking, oh, this is a V1, but I'm looking for a momentum pullback scalp. You gotta choose one or the other. Are you looking for a V1 or are you looking for a momentum pullback scalp? Looking over here at the sentiment's not very strong for a buy. So I mean, I don't know if I'd still look for that. I mean, looking over here at the fundamentals, they're also no longer bullish, they're neutral. So the bias isn't really bullish anymore. So that V1 actually wouldn't be one that I would necessarily take, William. It's not very strong here. If this was like 120 or 150 points, I would maybe look for that. If this was above 65%, I would maybe look for that. Looking over here at the technicals here aren't even very bullish anymore. They're more on the neutral side. So let me just update this real quick. So that actually wouldn't be a V1 variation. It's a V1 pattern, but not necessarily a V1 variation. So I mean, it's neutral bullish at currently 60% or 62%. The fundamentals are currently neutral bullish as well at like 70 points. Short-term technicals over here are pretty much neutral, and long-term technicals are neutral as well. So looking at the overall bias now, I wouldn't take any bias here because it's pretty much neutral bullish. If this was bullish, this is bullish, this is bullish, this is bullish, then in that situation, I would maybe take the V1 variation. But yeah, exactly. William said, yeah, I didn't take it because I saw the V1. So, scared money doesn't make no money, William. You gotta remember that. If you're gonna be scared to take entries here, we already knew what we were looking for. My main strategy here is the momentum pullback scalp, right? So I didn't care about any V1s here. I was looking for my main entry over here, and I was looking for my momentum pullback scalp. So my momentum pullback scalp analysis is going to outweigh any V1 pattern that would come up here. So that actually wouldn't be a V1 because of the bias here, but you got to keep that in mind. Well, you can't be thinking too many things at once. That's why I always tell people to focus on two strategies, or even just one or two strategies, because I have multiple strategies. And if your mind is all over the place and you're not focused on that main strategy you're looking for, you're going to get into analysis paralysis like William did here. But it's all good, William. You just keep that in mind in the future. You got to have some sort of, you got to put your foot down at some point, William. You can't say, oh, there's an entry here, and but there's a V1, so I'm not going to take that. You can't trade scared. You have to like really believe in the strategy that you're applying. So yeah, if there's any other questions, guys, about these strategies, let me know. I'll keep looking for another entry here, but I think moving forward, because of the market conditions now, I might just stick to just two entries, guys. Because like, for example, here, I would have had one win here and then one win here. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the entry down on my MC4. So I only took it on my, top step. So let me go and just take a little screenshot of this so that you guys know what entry we took there. And we will continue to analyze. Let's see, CJ said, plus with the momentum pullback, we can cut losses early. That helps with any hesitation. Yeah, exactly, CJ. So that's another reason too why I would be okay with taking the momentum pullback scalp, because, and that's why it's one of the main strategies, because you can cut losses early, right? You can take it and not really be too afraid, because if the trade does turn on you, you can just pull out for a partial profit. So like, for example, over here, we had a pending buy signal on this next candle. So I said, if that candle closes, I'm going to close for like, barely any loss. And then this one came up and it had a buy signal on it. So I said, if price came down, I would maybe close for partial, a partial profit as well. So I'm going to give you guys an update over here real quick for this. This was the momentum pullback scalp. I just took one entry today. Only took it on one account too. But yeah, so that gives you guys pretty much a rundown of what I'm working towards, because if you guys think about it, if I take 2 entries a day and I can make probably 2,000 per account, around 2,000 per account, and I have 7 accounts right now, if you guys do the math on that, that is pretty solid profit. So for example, if we take 2 trades a day, and I'm going to be like as conservative as possible. Like whenever I start to plan out my trading plan, I try to look at things in a conservative view. So here I'm going to do best case scenario. So best case scenario here, I make 2,000 a day per account times 7. That's about 14,000 a day, right? Times 5. That's 70,000 a week. Times 4. That's about like 280K. A month. This is how much I'd be doing. That's best case scenario, right? Say every day we take 2 trades and they all hit, we never lose. That'd be best case scenario. Say for example, we lose one. So if we lose one, say about 2,000 times, say 3 good days a week, right? So it's about 6,000 per day times 7 accounts times 5 days a week. It's still pretty high, right? So that's how I'm calculating things, guys. I'm trying to take less trades, but higher quality. So I'm focusing on just one strategy, one entry, another strategy, one entry. If I can do that every day and pretty much win majority of the time, like you guys saw the spreadsheet for that other strategy, like if I can take the strategy almost every day and just lose once, then that's a good deal for me, right? And then I take one momentum pullback scalp and I have like the same type of criteria here. It's going to be inevitable, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. Like that's kind of like what I'm aiming for here. I'm trying to give you guys the most accurate trading plan as possible, because the thing is, you can apply these strategies multiple times. So for example, that same strategy that I was applying between 6:30 and 7, see how there's a buy signal right here? Buy signal came up. There was 2 red candles right here. There'd be another full TP there. So you can apply this strategy multiple times if you really wanted to, but I personally wouldn't do that because I'm looking for consistency and I'm looking for accuracy, right? So for example, that first strategy that we did earlier this morning, there was 1 entry right there, full TP, another entry right here, full TP. There's a sell signal right here, 2 green candles, another entry right there, full TP. Green candle right here, right? So we got a green momentum signal right here, 2 red candles. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this hits full TP too, if that becomes the case. I'll follow it, but I'm not going to take the trade here. But I want to show you guys that like there's a lot of opportunity with this new strategy that I'm putting together. So we'll follow it and we'll see. But like I was mentioning before, guys, I'm just looking for like maybe 1 or 2 entries a day. And I mean, I'm just going to leave it at that, because if I could do that, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys would be happy with that, right? Like, for example, even if you had just 1 account. So say, for example, you had 1 account and you just got to do the math towards it. Like 1 account, you make 2,000 a day on a 100K account. This is just 1 FTMO account. So 2,000 a day times, say five days a week, 10,000 a week times 4, 40,000 a month, 12, that's like 480,000. This is just 1 account. So, and here goes that entry that I was just talking about, guys. So it's currently running. I'm not in this position. I just wanted to show you guys another example of like that strategy that I'm doing. So we had a lot of profits here. I'll take a look at everybody's profits shortly. But let me check the other questions here. So let's see, Vince is asking, are the FTMO challenges not unlimited trading period? I mean, it should be. Yeah, no, it should be, Vince. I don't know personally, but yeah, from what I'm seeing, it should be. One thing for this here, and this entry is still technically running. Yeah, Kenny said he thinks it's a glitch. He's talking to a rep right now. I'm gonna take this off, guys. I don't want you guys to think that I'm in a position. We're still, so if you guys are looking for more entries here, I would be looking for a momentum pullback scalp. The other strategy that I was referring to for you guys earlier is not, it's a one-time strategy. I'm showing you guys that more entries can come up, but if you guys take more entries throughout the day, it's just going to add on to more risk. So I personally wouldn't do it, but if you guys want to just stick to one a day like I'm doing, you guys just pretty much get in, get out, and move on to the next day. That's kind of what my goal is here. I want to just trade, take my entries, and then be done for the day. So take my first entry between the first 30 minutes and then take my next entry for the next hour. And then once I take that, then I'm pretty much done. So I have one trade for today, the momentum pullback scalp. I'll look for another entry here, but I'm probably not going to take the next one, guys. The volatility here is too low, so I don't think this is something that we're going to be taking. And I might have to cut out of this live session a little early today, guys. I have some personal stuff that I have to handle at around 7:30. So once I get a call, I'm gonna have to get off the live session. So as you guys can see, if you guys can do this every single day, you guys can be done trading by like 7:30 each day. You can have 2 wins a day, one between 6:30 and 7, and then one between 7 and 7:30. Once you have those 2 entries, you have 2,000 for the day, and then you just go on with your day. And then once you have, multiple accounts like I do, then you can just keep stacking profits from there. At that point, you're just multiplying. See, question from Byron. Byron's asking, why is it in a downtrend if mostly all the stuff is mostly green on CNBC? I mean, it's not very bullish though, Byron. So if you look over here, I mean, it's somewhat bullish, but it's not very bullish. It's like 100 points. So right now it's back to 100 points. A few minutes ago, like maybe 10 or 20 minutes ago, it was like at 70. So it hasn't been consistently above 100. And just the simple answer to your question is that the market's manipulated, right? So that's another clear example of like how the market's manipulated. Byron over here mentioned, why is US30 in a downtrend when it's mostly, when like pretty much all of the stocks in the index are pretty much bullish. So looking over here, this is exactly what Byron just mentioning. So I think the main thing here is because there's only one stock that's carrying it. So now that I look over here at the index, you can see over here, Byron, there's only one stock that's really carrying it, which is Salesforce. And you can see it's starting to weaken. It was up 10 points. Now it's up 9 points. Everything else is like less than 3 points. There's only like 2 stocks here that are really bullish, or not even really bullish. There's only one stock that's really bullish. There's one that's like somewhat bullish, and then everything else is weak. Over here on the lower side, we have one stock that's kind of weak, but not very weak. It's like down 2 points, Johnson & Johnson. But I think it's pretty stable right now. If a lot of these were picked up, like say, for example, like maybe 5 of these stocks were like 5 points or more, and these were all red, then in that case, yeah, price should be going up very clearly. But right now, the market movement, I think it's mainly just manipulation from the news. So if you guys saw the news from earlier, the news for the Chicago PMI, it was, where is it at? Yeah, so the Chicago PMI, you can't really see here on Forex Factory, but on my FX, like it looks a little better. Chicago PMI was bullish here. So market is kind of just getting manipulated right now because, if the news is good and everyone's taking the buy there, they're not going to let everybody win, right? So if you look over here on the other time frames, it's actually still pretty bullish. Byron. So if you look over here, it's just the shorter time frames that are kind of bearish right now, but I think this is a temporary pull down. It's 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute. You can see they're kind of bearish, but if you look over here on the 30 minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour, price is still technically bullish. It's still going up right now. So price is just going down temporarily. It's like slight manipulation based off the news, unless there's any other news events going on. I don't know if there's anything else here. Let's see, Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court financial disclosure shows flights paid for by GOP mega donor. It's the only breaking news for today. Sorry, guys. Dogs, Cody's barking. Yeah, Byron said, thank you so much. I always watch you and learn so much every day. Thank you for all your advice. Yeah, no, definitely, Byron. I know the market's a little like, you kind of want reasoning behind everything. And of course, all of us do, but a lot of times there's no reasoning behind it. Like, just like Byron said here, everything is bullish. Why is price going down? It just is, to be honest. There's no real explanation as to like, why is it going down right now? Because it should be going up, right? If you're using logic, price should be going up. The thing here too is that the volatility is kind of low. So see how the volatility is currently at 14 ATR. Usually around this time in the market, it's around like 20, like during a normal season. But yeah, right now there's just not too much explanation. So yeah, I wish I had a better answer for you, Byron, but that's the main reason why we don't really predict where market's going. So for me, I used to trade on the higher time frames, and then I started to realize that like the higher time frames were like, it's kind of random because the news events will come out and it'll kind of spike price in one direction. Like I'm sure this happens to a lot of you guys where you guys trade on like say the 4 hour or 1 hour. You guys will take a trade and it looks great because the trend is like super bullish, and then some news event comes out and then the trade goes opposite and hit your stop loss. Then a few minutes later, it goes straight back up and hit your TP, right? I used to hate that. So like now I don't really predict where the market's going. I kind of just get on the market every morning and then I see what the market's doing and then I just piggyback on their moves. So that's why we trade here on the 1 minute, because I don't really care what's happening, on the macro scale. So I don't really care about the news events. I already know the news events are going to be BS anyways. Like for example, the news from today was bullish and this news event came out at 7:30, right? So 7:30 is right here. We're 7:30. So 7:30 is right here. News was bullish, it pushed price up, and then it came right back down and stopped people out. Whoever chased that buy there, they ended up getting stopped out right here as price came right back down. And then now price is just flat down around this area. So for me personally, I just don't have the stomach to hold on to positions and then get caught in market manipulation. So for me, I just like to trade on the 1 minute, and then I like to limit my trades to like 1 or 2 trades a day, make sure that they're both wins, and then just repeat the process the next day. Yeah, exactly. Sisuk said writing the market is way better than trying to predict, which is required with higher time frames. Yeah, I agree too, Sisuk. It's just really tricky. One thing that you guys want to kind of keep in mind too is Michael Burry's short. Right. I know it's a big talk right now. If you guys haven't seen The Big Short, there's a movie on Netflix called The Big Short. It's about Michael Burry. That's the whole reason the movie's on there, because he put this big short in. So he's basically shorting the S&P and NASDAQ. He put in like 1.5 billion in short. So he's betting on the market to fail. So there's going to be a lot of like manipulation in the market coming forward, since like he put in that bet. A lot of people are probably wondering, is this guy going to be right or is he going to be wrong? He was right the first time around. He caught like a crazy, he basically predicted the mortgage failure. So the market crashed in like, I think 2000 or earlier, 2008 or before that. He caught that move, and that's kind of what's happening right now. I think you can even look him up on CNBC or even just on the internet. You just look up Michael Burry. Yeah, if you just look at Michael Burry, he's a big time short seller. Like what he does is he looks for inconsistencies in like companies or like markets, and then he bets against them. And I mean, we'll see. If you guys watch the movie, he wasn't right for like the first couple, like he put this crazy bet in for like, I think, like 1 to 2 billion on the housing market to crash. And then he wasn't right for like the first couple of months. And then eventually like a year happened and then he was super right and everything came crashing down. And then of course the banks got bailed out. Yeah, CC said he's not wrong, but keep in mind it's a long hold because of the amount of money he made off the mortgage failure was enormous. Yeah, exactly, CC. Hey Shannon, how's it going? All right, guys. So if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I'm probably gonna wrap up this session in a bit, guys. I have to do some stuff today. So if there's any question that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. What I was mentioning, if you guys are just joining the room or if you guys didn't catch what I was mentioning earlier, I'm focusing on one trade between 6:30 and 7, which is applying this somewhat new strategy that I'm been testing out, or I'm going to be testing out. It's going to be based off the momentum signal. So like basically I'm looking for momentum to push in a direction, and then I'm looking for price to reverse. So I'm basically looking for a counter trend trade in reversal of the momentum signal. Yeah, so Oscar's asking, so 2 candles going in. So let me just show you guys the example over here from today. I'm going to be doing this strategy every day. So like I'm going to be forward testing it for the next couple of months. Once it's like pretty established and I made pretty good money on it, then I'll be establishing it as an efficient strategy. But I think it's going to be a staple because it's a time-based strategy. It's between 6:30 and 7. So I'll be able to take one entry there that it's almost for sure going to hit. I'm not going to say for sure. I don't want to jinx myself, but it's a very high win rate strategy. I have the data here for the past couple, basically all the entries that came up. So they're basically all wins. There's only one loss that was like on Tuesday, August 8th. I don't know if anything was going on that day, but this is all disregarding news and all that stuff. I still took the entry even, regardless of that. So I'll just show you guys the example of the entry from today. So at 6:30 market open, we'll just replay it. And I'll just take these levels off. So there's, all right, here, let me just do it on a different chart, guys. Sorry, I don't want to mess this chart up. So I'll just take everything off the chart because you don't need anything on here. So let me just show you guys the entry that I take between 6:30 and 7. So market open right here at 6:30, right? There's a sell signal. At this point, I was looking for 2 opposite candles. So market open here at 6:30. This is the first momentum signal for market open. I was looking for 2 green candles here. So I got 1 green candle right there, opposite of momentum, and then 1 right there. Basically what I'm looking for here is I'm trying to catch the momentum. So see how this had a pending momentum right there? Since this had a pending momentum, I knew price was, if the momentum signal came up on the next candle right here, then price was going to blast up at least 100 pips, right, to hit my TP. So that's kind of what I'm looking for here. I'm looking for the reversal. The only thing is if there was a buy signal here, I wouldn't take the entry because that's one of the criteria. I'll release the criteria once the strategy is official. I still have to make adjustments because I'm still testing it. Today's the first day of testing during live markets. So it's going to take some time before I can finalize everything. But anyways, sell signal right here. Look for 2 opposite candles. Long position right here. And then you just go for 100 pips, 10.25. You have that setup right there. Full TP. That's literally it. So this is the strategy that I'm applying between 6:30 and 7. And then at 7 o'clock, this is where I'm starting to look for my other entry. Right, so price comes down. Right here, we got a sell signal. I'm looking for that retracement. Price retraces right there, but we wouldn't take it because the lowest level for entry would be down here below momentum. So lowest entry would be at the 40 mark right there. Price comes down further. Retracement candle right there. Next level is going to be at the 30 right here. That's where my entry would be. And this is the entry that we took today. So price came up, filled my order, came down, full TP. So that's going to be my main goal. I'm looking for entry here between 6:30 and 7, basically a nice win right there. And then I'm looking for another entry right here between 7 and 8. Once I have that entry, I'm probably going to wrap it up. I'll look for other entries throughout the day, but I think these are going to be pretty solid. If you think about it, if you can take 2 wins a day, and I already did the math over here, right? If you could take 2 wins a day, like just 2 quality trades, you don't have to take a bunch of trades. You take 2 quality trades a day. If you're on a 100K account, that's 2,000 a day times 5. That's 10,000 a week times 4. That's 40,000 a month times 12. That's 480,000 a year. So you guys can see, the power of this. If you guys can just focus on 2 solid trades, you don't have to take like 20 trades. Yeah, you can take 20 trades and make a lot of wins, but you'll also make a lot of losses. So if you just focus on 2 quality trades a day, you just do the basic math here. And then, say, for example, you have 2 accounts, you multiply that by 2, then you're like getting into the million range, right? Of profit. So it's really just being smart in the market. Because I feel like a lot of you guys, not just you guys in general, but people in all trading aspects, a lot of people think that more is better, but realistically it's focusing on like 2 very quality trades, like 2 like A+ trades, right? Like a lot of people talk about, you just need to focus on 2 really good trades. And the good thing about this is that it's time-based. So we take the trade right here. If the trade doesn't happen between 6:30 and 7, then there's no entry right here. And then we have one of our momentum pullback scalps and we have that entry there. And then we're good, right? Once we have that, you just repeat the process. You get up in the morning, you trade from 6:30 to 7, you take that 1 entry, you trade from 7 to 8, you take that entry, and then you go on and do whatever you want with your life, right? Like me, you'll live my life basically, because if you guys have been following me on social media, that's literally what my life has been for the past like 3 years. I have no stress in my life. I literally trade with you guys here from 6:30 to 8. And then after 8 o'clock, I do whatever I want. I come back sometimes on Mondays for the mentoring session, but my quality of life is great. I have no stress. I make a pretty good amount of money. I buy whatever I want. I do whatever I want. I could go on vacation. Like there's no ceiling for me. I can kind of do whatever I want. And at this point, I'm now just adding accounts. So you guys have seen my accounts here, right? So you guys have seen my accounts. How many accounts do I have now? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 accounts, right? So, you just do the math there. 9 accounts, you do. So like the math I just did there, 2,000 times 9, it's like 18,000 in 1 day, just by taking these 2 trades. Unfortunately, I didn't take it on my MC4. I was kind of like, I was too busy with focusing on this strategy here that I missed it. And then this one here, I only took it on my top step because I missed it as well. But you guys can see the power of this. 2 trades a day, I can make 18,000 in 1 day, like without barely lifting a finger, right? So I just want to make things as efficient as possible for you guys. Like, sure, you guys can look for more entries here, but look, so check this out. We took the entry over here at 7, right? You guys can hang out for like another 30 minutes if you want. Odds are you're probably not going to find an entry. Like you're just going to waste 30 minutes here just sitting here and not doing anything. So my advice would be to just get your trades, get out of the market, make your profit, and then come back tomorrow and do the same thing. It's just a rinse and repeat process. Because the thing is, if you keep sitting on these charts for like, because I've seen some of you guys will be on the charts like all day between like 7:30 up until like 12, right? And those people are taking like 10 or 20 trades a day. You guys will notice that certain people who post a lot of trades aren't posting anymore, right? Because they probably blew their account. Like sometimes you'll see people who are posting like a bunch of trades a day and they're making like crazy amount of profits, but then all of a sudden they kind of disappear off the face of the earth, right? Because they probably blew their accounts. For me, I'm consistently trading every day because I'm not really losing trades. I'm having like a couple wins a day or a couple wins a week, but I'm still trading every single day. So yeah, if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. I think I'm going to wrap this up soon, guys. The ATR is too low. There's no point in trading right now. You guys can see the ATR is currently at 12. Maybe in the fall we'll have higher volatility and maybe we can take multiple entries, but right now it's just not looking like it because the volatility here is so it's so low at the moment. So, and here goes the entry that we were looking at earlier. So I think I showed you guys the setup. So I forgot where it was. Let me see if I can just rewind it. I think I had a setup here that was marked up that I deleted. Okay, never mind. So there's a there was a sell signal right here, 2 green candles. That would have been a buy, full TP. I think there was another one over here too. A buy signal, there was 2 red candles right there. Another full TP. Green candle right there. 2 red candles. Full TP. So you guys can see that strategy that I showed you guys in the beginning. You can apply throughout the day, but I'm not going to be that guy to be sitting on the charts for like hours and hours on end, trying to catch every single move. Yeah, no problem, Miguel. Kevin's asking, do you change your definition of overextended in the fall? Right now, it's currently at 1,000 pips. So 1,000 pips is usually the benchmark, Kevin, but in the fall, if it starts to move very quickly, it'll go up to like about 1,500 pips. That's typically where I'm going to be looking. Kind of depends. You just kind of have to base it off like how the market's moving. Because so we have the presidential elections coming up next year, right? Once they start campaigning, you're going to see the volatility kind of all over the place. So the 1,000 pips is going to be the benchmark. And then from there, you can increase it by, I'd say 250 pips. So go from like 1,000, it's like kind of how we're doing now, right? 750 to 100, and then 100 to 250, 250 to 1,500. And it can go all the way up to 2,000. Like during COVID, the movement was like almost 3,000 to 5,000 pips per day. So overextension was considered like 2,000 pips. It just depends on like the market conditions, but 1,000 is like a good middle point for identifying overextension. So guys, right here, you guys can see the ATR is currently at 11. It's not getting any better. It's still staying pretty low. So I think we're just going to wrap it up. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm pretty excited for what's going to come, guys. If we can really lock down these 2 strategies per day, I think this is going to be very beneficial for everybody here, because everybody's just going to keep locking in profits. And there's going to be a lot of consistency here. So we're not going to be sitting on a chart for like, the entire day, kind of like hoping that an entry will come up. We basically look for the entry right here between 6:30 and 7. If it doesn't come up, fine, we'll look for a momentum pullback scalp. If this doesn't come up, then fine, no entries for the day. But if we find one here, lock that in, be done for the day, lock one here, be done for the day, and then we'll just close out early whenever we can, right? So I got my 2 wins for the day, and I'm now going to wrap this up. Just another reminder, guys, that if there's anything that you guys need help with, just let me know. If you guys don't have consistency, I mean, sometimes you just need someone to tell you what to do, and that usually will set you on the right path. There's more profits over here. I actually didn't even go over anybody's profits for the day. We have Kenny over here, total profit of 2,340 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. All wins. Sorry, guys, I totally forgot to go over everyone's profits. Let me save that real quick. Maria's asking about the new strategy, and if you also consider another confluence. No, there's no other confluences. There's another strategy that Gion's working on where he uses the higher highs and lower lows, but he's going to test that himself. And if that works, then we might have even another strategy to implement on it. But no, there's no other confluences that I'm using for it, Maria. Whenever I come up with a strategy, I try to keep it as basic as possible, as simple as possible, because if you make it too complicated, there's not going to be any entries for you to take. There's only so much time here to take the entry. So, we got to make that happen within 6:30 and 7. If you add higher highs and lower lows into your confluence, you might not even have an entry at all. So I'm not using that on mine right now. If I add anything else, I'll let you guys know. But right now, I'm keeping it as basic as possible. We got Kevin over here, total profit of 681 for the day. All wins. Nice work, Kevin. Solid profits right there. We got Randy over here. Randy took the 3rd touch. Yeah, probably should have been careful on that one, Randy. I don't know which one you took. Let's see, you took the sell. Yeah, so we took the lower level right here. He took it on the 3rd touch when it came down to that point right there. This is why I was telling you guys that liquidity pushes are very risky. They're not always going to play through. That's why I personally don't like using liquidity pushes. I know they're good and they're pretty lucrative if you take every single entry. So if you took the first one up here, that'd be a full TP. You take this one right here, that'd be a full TP. If you took the second touch over here, that'd be a full TP. But you can see there's a lot of fake outs here. So for example, a fake out right here, the second touch came down, another fake out, right? Third touch, another fake out. It's just crazy when like, well, so the thing with liquidity, guys, that you guys have to understand is that this is a strategy that's applied when the sentiment is very high. Right now, the sentiment's not high. That's why I'm not really inclined to take any liquidity pushes. Because there's not really much of a direction, right? If this was like 80% short, like what Kevin was mentioning, he said they were hitting crazy when the sentiment was 80% short. That's because you knew exactly where to trade. Right now, it's not really one-sided. It's kind of like a little bit more neutral. So that's why I'm not even taking the liquidity pushes at all. If you guys have seen, I haven't taken any of these. I've only taken them when the bias is very strong. So yeah, it's unfortunate that you got into that, Randy, but it's okay. I would probably stick to liquidity pushes only when the sentiment is very high, because then you can always trade in one direction. So if this is like 80% short, then you take pretty much all liquidity to the upside, right? Or if this is like 80% long, then you just take everything for the sell side. I wasn't even really looking for sells today because of the sentiment here, but the only reason I looked for a sell is because it was a momentum pullback scalp. So let's see some more profits here from Johnny. Johnny locked in 212 for the day. Nice work, Johnny. Great consistency there. You've been killing it pretty much every day for the past couple of weeks. We have Patricia over here, total profit of 3,100 for the day. Nice work, Patricia. A couple losses there, but she made it right back. We got Rashida over here, total profit of 948 on her top step. Nice work right there, Rashida. And a total profit of 778 on her MT4 over here, all wins. Nice work, Rashida. So great consistency right there. We got Gian over here, total profit of 816 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Gian. We got Maddie over here, total profit of 440 per account. So approximately about 1,200 across the board. Nice work right there, Maddie. Vincent over here, Vincent took the liquidity too. So Vincent took liquidity, unfortunately hit stop loss on that first touch, and then he made it right back on the next trade over here. It's all good, Vincent, happens. So again, like, you know, you guys can see here, a lot of the losses that people have are from liquidity. So for in my opinion, guys, I would probably stay away from liquidity. If I'm telling you that I'm taking the trade, like I wouldn't have taken the trade if it came up here. If it was a buy, I would have taken it because the bias was bullish pre-market, right? I only take liquidity when it's going the direction of the bias, and only if the bias is very strong. If price is coming down and the bias is bullish, I'm probably not going to take liquidity in that direction because it's probably not going to have enough push to really get to my direction. And at this point, I mean, price kind of moved crazy. So look at how price moved right here. Like during this time, if I saw this movement, I wouldn't even bother with liquidity anymore because you guys can see how crazy movement happened, right? Like this movement right here, price came down, faked out, came up, faked out, came right back down. This is not the type of liquidity that I would want to trade in. If price was moving like this, then I would be a little more okay to take the trades, right? Because it's moving smooth to the downside. So it's going smoothly down like this and great. Like maybe this first touch right here, I'd be okay. But once I saw this, I was like, okay, I'm definitely not taking liquidity because look at how messy it is, right? It's just too much of a mess. See, we have Andrew over here, total profit. Nice. Andrew said hit liquidity, but he took it on the lower lot size and he hit his TP right there, 556. And then his total profits for the day, 944. Nice work, Andrew. Solid profits right there. Then we have Andreas over here, total profit of 890 for the day, all wins as well. Nice work, Andreas. All right, so I finally went over everybody's profits for the day. Randy said, thanks for mentioning that. I was really doing good on my demos last month from liquidity because sentiment was 70 to 80%. Yeah, so just a reminder, guys, if you guys want to take liquidity, I would focus on when sentiment is high because right now it's pretty much flat. So I wouldn't necessarily take it. You know, the only way for us to really have a direction is if it's 65% or more above. Right now it's at 62, so there's not really too much of a direction. And looking over here at the fundamentals, they're kind of just sitting around 100 right now as well, with not really too much movement. So, all right, guys, I think that might be it for today. If there's any other questions, you know, feel free to reach out. Again, like my main plan for today is going to focus on just 2 entries a day. I'm going to look for one between 6:30 and 7, and then one at between 7 and 8 for the momentum pullback scalp. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. Volatility should be picking up in the next couple of weeks. Tomorrow's the first day of September, so expect a lot of craziness. First day of the month, and then also it's NFP. So, expect some crazy movements tomorrow. If you guys don't have to trade, you don't need to. I'm gonna look for an entry, but if it's too crazy, I might not even trade. So, all right, guys. Other than that, I will see you guys back here tomorrow.